ADHD and Freelancer. A few days ago, a headhunter contacted me. It had been over 3 years since I left my last job, and I was wondering why they were reaching out after all this time. The headhunter told me that they couldn't find any law professionals who speak English well. I had no intention of finding a new job and was contented with my freelance work. Plus, I had weak stamina and couldn't even imagine commuting to Seoul. So I said, there are many other good and skilled professionals out there. I haven't even been working for a while. The company was a global corporation and they were looking for a non-lawyer with extensive practical experience and excellent English skills. It's not easy to find someone with those qualifications, which is why they contacted me. I asked why they were specifically looking for a non-lawyer when they could just have a lawyer report to the headquarters. It didn't make sense. The headhunter explained that the company uses a law firm, so they don't need someone with a license. Instead, they need someone who has extensive practical experience and excellent English skills. While they didn't insist on me specifically, I did say, please try other candidates first and then contact me again if necessary. It seems that the situation was quite difficult and many people probably turned it down. That's probably why they contacted me, a person in my mid-40s who haven't worked in the field for over 4 years. Although the position was a solo job, there seemed to be a lot of work to be done due to the company's circumstances. So I would have to handle various tasks while reporting to the headquarters in English, obtaining approvals, and enduring a long career with only half the salary of a lawyer, even though I have a lot of practical experience and am good at English. While it was somewhat disheartening to think that everyone had passed on this job opportunity before it came to me, it was in a difficult situation where I needed to work even if it meant commuting to Seoul, but my body was only functioning at about 20% of its physical capacity. I was on the verge of dying, so I didn't think I could work for that much money. Whether I worked as a freelancer or went to work for a company, the amount of money left after paying for my other expenses would be similar, but taking into account the stress, people's attention, competition and tension, criticism and conflict, and the energy required to handle all those tasks, it felt like I was volunteering my services either way. I always had a feeling that working for a company was a loss, and now I realize that it was a volunteer work where I sold my time cheaply. I had to think of it as a volunteering to make myself feel better and enjoy it. When I thought there was no other way than working for a company before becoming a freelancer, I tried to comfort myself with this thought, but now I am working comfortably on my own. Why should I go through all that hardships, doing all sort of tasks at my age? I was angry at ridiculous proposal. Before I became a freelancer, I used to be conscious of my age and felt down, thinking that there was no company that would use me, but now it's different. I have become stronger and can survive outside of an organization, so I can go to work for a company with the feeling of volunteering. But if that company treats me like a disposable resource, that wouldn't be acceptable. However, I sensed a subtle shift in the atmosphere. It felt like there were no people to work for the company because they weren't hiring younger people, not teaching them the job or giving them opportunities. As younger generation no longer accept past unfair business practices, I felt that job opportunity were coming back to people like me who are older, have a broad understanding, and have good patience. In the past, people in their mid-40s wouldn't be contacted by headhunters because there were so many people. However, I feel that there is a subtle change in atmosphere in every field. I heard that even in the IT industry, many people in their 50s and 60s are getting employed because there are no people. Even though companies suffered losses for about 3 years, even hiring new employees, they are expected to perform and achieve results afterwards. However, nowadays companies don't hire new employees, and there are few employees who can withstand 3 years of hardship. Additionally, younger employees know a lot, so if something goes wrong, they take legal action. Therefore, more conservative companies seem to be looking for older employees. That's why there's talk that people born in the 1980s and 1990s will have to work until they are 80 years old to support themselves. However, I forgot that people who contact me from outside are trying to take something away from me, and I wasted my time being kind and responsive. I went through trial and error, anxiety, and pain to establish myself as a freelancer, and there's no reason to keep that up. It's almost robbed me out of joy, relaxation, happiness, and pleasure I get from not having to deal with people. I can survive on my own outside of an organization, earn money, and support myself without meeting anyone. I think it's even more difficult than entering a company in my mid-40s. The thought of working for someone else for a moment just because I understand their position is ridiculous, especially considering my health. Some people may become freelancers early on in their career, while others may become freelancers later on. However, there are some people who may never be able to become freelancers. I have been able to stand independently in a conformist society, using my creativity, entrepreneurial spirit, and the ability to immerse myself in my work to carve out my own path and excel in what I love doing. It used to be sad and difficult for me that the mainstream society didn't accept or understand me, but now it's not all the case. I do not have to sell my life cheaply to a company by working for them. As Ivan Illich said in his book, The Right to Useful Unemployment, perhaps the greatest privilege a person of high social status can enjoy now is the freedom to do what they want to do without having to go to work. The freedom is becoming increasingly impossible for the most ordinary people.